Glenn Beck received a message on his Facebook page from a concerned mother who said that her kid's teacher said the kids should only listen to teachers. So naturally, Beck is outraged over this because he's outraged over anything, and I gotta be honest with you, I'm not even sure I believe the story from the woman. Look, to be honest, I don't even know if that happened on the Facebook page. He might have just totally made it up because he's known for doing that. But he's even more angry, not just because of that, which is already questionable, but because allegedly the teacher also said that the Pilgrims were terrorists. You want to talk about something else I don't believe? Yeah, a little kid in, like, elementary school, and the teacher's like, you know, the Pilgrims were like Osama bin Laden. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. But even if let's say it were true, okay, that's one teacher who's a little kooky, and there's kind of an argument for that. You could say, hey, it's on PC, but there is kind of an argument for that. Do you not know what the Pilgrims did and what happened in westward expansion later on, and the U.S. record with Native Americans? I mean, come on. Are we going to pretend like that wasn't a horrific genocide and we didn't do the Trail of Tears and we didn't do the Indian Removal Act? Is that what we're going to do now? We're just going to make shit up? See, that's the thing. Conservatives love to play this role of, I'm the guy who tells harsh truths. And then when somebody actually does tell a harsh truth, you know, the Pilgrims were kind of like terrorists. God, how dare you! Don't say that! That's too uncomfortably true! So please, you're not the party of harsh truths. You're the party of, my witty-bitty emotions are hurting because you said something that's true. Sorry, am I being too much of a dick in this story already? We haven't even gotten to the meat of it yet. So, what's Glenn Beck's response to this anecdote he saw on his Facebook page about something that maybe or maybe didn't happen in school? Let's watch.
We're at a point now to where we have to shut down the Department of Ed. There's no reform that is going to be good enough. You have to shut down the Department of Education. It must be turned off, and the control has got to go back to the local level. Look, we have put up with it and put up with it and put up with it. Do you realize how much has been done? Do you really think we've found all of the things that they have put in the last 8 years? The last 12 years? The last 20 years? Do you think we have found all the things that they've worked in that just start the gears moving? Once those gears are moving, you're not going to shut them off. The only way is to shut down the machine. You have to reboot the entire system and wipe the hard drive. That's the only way.
One teacher maybe did something wrong, but maybe not, because I really don't know. This one person said this one thing about this one teacher. Therefore, ban the entire Department of Education. That's like saying, my doctor is shitty, so ban hospitals. He's just not a smart guy. I'm sorry. We gave the breakdown of the right-wing talk show hosts, I think it was last week when we were breaking down the Jon Stewart and Howard Stern conversation, and they were basically saying how O'Reilly's actually pretty smart and pretty genuine, even though we disagree with him on like 90% of stuff, but he's the smartest of them. Then you have Sean Hannity, who I flat out think is acting. I do. And then you have Rush Limbaugh, who I think is just stupid. I think he really believes what he's saying, but he's a dunce. He's just not bright. He can't connect dots. He's not a logical person. Glenn Beck, I go back and forth because a lot of the stuff I think is he might be acting. I oscillate on this question. I don't know. Maybe he's just purely acting. A lot of it I think is acting. But at the same time, I also think he's just not smart. I think he says a lot of dumb things where he puts on like this bravado and this mask of like, I'm going to talk in this voice which makes me sound very authoritative and kind of like a generic announcer, but I'll say something really wacky and outrageous. And I don't know. Is he just stupid? Is he acting? Is it a mix of both? I don't know. But either way, that argument is fucking terrible. And also, the idea that we need no federal standards, no Department of Education, only the state should handle education. Okay. Do you realize how quickly that would crash and burn? Now, understand, in the U.S., we already have a system that's more geared towards local control and state control of education. And that's fine to a certain extent. You do want some control, of course, being state and local. But the idea that we have no federal standards, no federal money is involved, there's no federal standards. Do you realize what a school in Mississippi would be like versus a school in New York and California? No, New York and California would be doing theoretical physics by the 4th grade, and Mississippi would learn how to tie your shoes by college. Look, I know I'm being kind of a dick to Mississippi, but sorry, guys, we just covered the story yesterday, how because of your state and local standards, they're not allowed to say the word condom in sex ed class. They can't say the word condom. They can't talk about homosexuality. They have to pretend like it doesn't exist. They can't talk about sex in a straightforward way. They have to pretend like sex doesn't exist in sex ed class. And you're not allowed to say the word condom in some districts in the state of Mississippi, all because of state and local laws. The federal government, they're more objective. Sorry, big guy, but it's the reality. The federal government, look, historically, whenever people scream about states' rights, they're always wrong. They're always wrong. I mean, look, what the segregation, Jim Crow laws. The argument to continue segregation was, they didn't say, we want to continue segregation because we are racists, man. No, they said, it's about states' rights, bro. Butt out. This is all about states' rights. It ain't got nothing to do with the fact that we hate black people. Every time somebody trots out that argument, give more control to the states and the local government, it never works out for the better. Look, I'm not saying make everything federal, but to have some sort of federal standard so that you're not allowed to teach creationism alongside evolution, yes, we need federal standards to say that. We need federal standards to say, you can't teach climate change denial when 99.9% of the peer-reviewed studies say it's real. This is what we need the federal government for. Glenn Beck's stupid argument of, I know somebody who maybe saw/didn't see something bad that happened in school with one teacher, therefore ban teachers, get rid of the entire Department of Education. That's so stupid, I think my 3-year-old nephew can outthink him.